So here I have created three different kinds of templates. So see, for example, here in our topology, where it went, the R1 config will be different from R2. Oops, sorry. R1 config will be different from R2, and its config will be different from the access devices. But for access layer devices, all will have a similar template. So that's what I have done. Like I have created three different templates, like distribution A device template, distribution B device template, and one template for all the access devices. So let's open and see what it is there in the particular. So what I have done, I have defined some objects here starting in the starting, whatever tabs we have. So if you have noticed, except var, all the tabs, it has one filter column over there. Oops, you see, filter. So these are the filters to know the Jinja template that it is related to which topic. So for all of them, like for the VRF, we are doing a table VRF. Same goes for will and physical and others as well. If you have more tables, you have more filters, you can add more objects here. So for the host name, we need to get the host name from the var tab and host name. So if you go to the var tab and check the variable name, this is the variable name, host name. So whatever you type here, it should match with the variable name here, var dot whatever you mention here. See here, var dot vtp domain. So if you copy this vtp domain and search here, so there is one variable called vtp domain. So whatever mentioned here in the result, in the default column, that will be copy pasted here in place of this curly braces. So this var dot whatever variable name, it will be directly replaced from the Excel tab. Okay. Now if you go down here, here is our rule starts, like here is a loop. So for it is a loop and it runs within for this section, starting from 4 and ending at a end 4. So this is our loop section. So what I am doing is, for the VRF data, whatever is there in the VRF tab, I am reading that those data line by line and adding it in a variable called VRF data. So one row from this VRF tab will be, say for example, first iteration, it will copy this row and it will copy inside the VRF underscore data, this variable. So now that particular data, it will have all sub category like name, RD, root target, and description. I have this 4 particular columns over there. So those we can refer as a dot and then whatever we want. So I want that VRF data dot name here. So I have mentioned as a VRF data dot name. In the description, VRF data dot description. Same goes for the root target. So like that, we can iterate through the loop for each of this tabular representation of our databases. Now for the VLAN creation also, the same kind of logic we have used for the VLAN data in the VLAN tab, and that VLAN data dot interface and description we are using. So if you go to the VLAN tabs, we are right now using this two, interface and description. These two data we are using to create the VLANs. For the loopback data, LB data, we are using interface, description, interface VRFs, and subnets. So these 4 things we are using from the loopback tab. Okay. Now here one condition I have used, like say after description I have put one condition if. So if is starting and end if is ending. So whatever, if that match is happened, whatever is between this if and if you have else, you can add here else as well. But right now I just done like, in case if this is matching, I want to do this, otherwise don't want to do anything. So in case if it is matching, like int VRF is not equal to blank. So say for example, right now it is blank. So what will happen? This line will not be there. This line will be excluded from the output. But in case if I am doing something like this is a voice VLAN, or I am putting like voice VLAN here. then what will happen? It will match, like it is not a none. Value is there, something value is there. So we want to get this line print out over there. So that VRF name should come. So that's why I put like this condition here. Then in the case of IP address, so for now, whatever data dot subnet is there, this subnet is actually a slash 32. I have mentioned as a slash 32. So if you put as it is without anything like any options like this, then what will happen? It will come like subnet slash 32 in the output. But we don't want. We only want the IP address portion of this subnet field. So what we have done, uh, pipe, and this pipe is for the filtration. So I want to filter whatever input is coming from this, and I want to filter with the nth IP. Means you can mention the number IP. Like say for example, this is a slash 32. So it will have only one IP. But suppose it is a slash 24 subnet, then it will have IP till 256, 255. So you can put a particular IP as well from that subnet. Whatever you mentioned between this bracket. So I want, for now I want only 0 IP. Say in the below section you will see the same thing. I am using the second IP of that subnet, but here it is a 0th IP. Okay, so only IP will be printed here, and then this after space, mask is what it is doing. It is just reading the slash 32 and converting it to syscope format 255.255.255. So that is our netmask format. So the same field we are filtering with the net mask, and here what we are doing, we are just taking the IP portion of that and using the 0th IP of that subnet. So for the physical tabs, if you go here, whatever physical interfaces we have, we need to create interfaces for that all of them. So what this is doing is it is going for all of these rows one by one, and first checks the condition, like if the interface type is mentioned as a uplink. So if you have seen here, I have specifically created one column to match those particular interface types. So if this interface type is uplink, so what it will do, it will match here. If there is any uplink is there, no, then it will continue. We don't have any uplinks over here, right? So it will not create anything for this section. It will not do anything for this section. Then it will go to the next section, elif, if it is type is a crosslink. So if that is a crosslink, then it will execute this particular section. So here similarly, I have created some sections, like for the crosslink there is section, then for the downlink this is the section. For the interface which are not in use, we want to this particularly put this standard configuration in the device. So for each of the types, we created a specific configurations here. So now for the physical data dot interface, what this interface first, this will be common for all of them. Then this description also will be almost same for all of them. This IP address, this configuration now it will change from for all of them one by one. So for a uplink interface, I want to configure like a second IP from the subnet. So if you've seen here in the subnet section, it is not IP, it is a subnet port part. So 0/30. So we simply put 0/30 here. And what we are doing is for the crosslink, A side device will have a first IP, B side device will have a second IP. So here what I am doing for the A side, I just put 2. No, it should not be 2. I think it should be 1 first IP. And for the distribution template B, we have the second template as well, right? This template B. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. This is not downlink. This is not crosslink. This is uplink. So uplink is fine. For the crosslink, yeah. For the crosslink, first IP will be there on the A side, and if you see here in the B side template, the second IP will be there for the crosslink. Where it is crosslink? Yeah, here is crosslink. Uplink section we are not using, so I don't care here for now. I just simply put some random config there. Okay, so both are similar config. Only thing is like here, first IP we are using on the B side, we are using second IP. So we don't need to like exclusively mention in the Excel file like we want the first IP or second IP. We can mention it in the template as well. You can do that as in the Excel as well. In particular, then in that case, this filters will not be required. Or you can simply put 0 everywhere if you are specifically putting it in the Excel file. Then same goes for the net mask as well. We want to put like 255 dot whatever mask is there mentioned in the out in the Excel cell. So here it is slash 30, so it will be 255 it will come. Now this downlink interfaces are not L3, but it is we want to pass the trunks over here. So here I have not configured IP address, but instead we mentioned it as a switch port. So we are doing the switch port configuration from the particular this section. So switch port mode will be trunk, and what trunk VLANs we want to pass over there. So those configs will be there for the downlink devices. And not in use will be just the interface number. Rest of everything is standard. So this is all about interface, physical interface. Now VLAN interfaces, L3 interface. So SVI, we want to have VLANs for each of interface VLAN configuration. We want to create that interface and its description. If that VLAN interface VRF is not there, then I don't want to put this IPVRF forwarding. Otherwise, we will create IPVRF forwarding over there. So for the interface IP, what interface VLAN IP, what I have decided is I will do the second IP on the ALX side, and I think third IP on the B side. So this is how I have planned, like IP second IP from the same subnet will be on the A, and third IP from the same subnet on the B side. And the VRRP IP, it will be same, like first IP will be VRRP, which will be gateway for that particular subnet. Priority I'm setting 200 on the A side and 150 on the B side. So this is how our template looks like. Now we'll go down to BGP section, which will be same for both of this template A and B. So router BGP, and we are putting the BGP AS number, which is there in the wire tab. You see here in the BGP AS number, yes, this one. So BGP underscore AS underscore number. This is our variable name. For the loopback IPs, we will put that loopback IP as a router ID. So for that purpose, I have mentioned here for loop and incorporated the condition as well in the inside that for loop, so that only that particular row will come here, and it will be we can get the IP address of that loopback IP. So we don't need to exclusively mention that for each and every devices. Now below section is here is a peer section. So peer group definitions are here. A for loop between these two. A peer group definition, like in the BGP peer group. If you go here in the BGP tab, we have peer groups mentioned here. So those peer group which doesn't have any IPs. So these rows which doesn't have any IP, this row will be considered as a peer group configuration. And peer configuration are the config which has both, like peer group as well as peer IP, both defined. So this is the condition for that particular peer informations. Okay, so play around with that conditions and get your desired result. So for now, what I have done, I have created the groups and assigned the IPs to particular group in this section. Okay, so for the group, we have just doing the peer AS number, description or password, update source, loopback, whatever you want. All those configs are listed down here. So whatever is data we have mentioned here on the right side, those data it will reflect under these sections. Okay, and same goes for the peer IPs as well. So whatever peer IPs we have three peer IPs. So for those three, IP and description, we want only those two data only: peer group name, peer description, and peer IP. So this is our BGP config. You can create similar tab for the OSPF or whatever other, and create a particular section for that particular protocol. For now, I have explained only for the BGP. This is our static route configuration. So if you see here, what I am doing is, this is the one line which actually print out the route. So IP route and then particular VRF. So what is this VRF? You see that we are setting a variable called VRF here, in case if we found that VRF in that particular static tab. So for you see here in the static underscore VRF, we don't have anything for this two routes, but we have mentioned VRF over here. So what will happen, like in case if that route doesn't have anything mentioned as a VRF, then it will be none. So this will be none. But in case if that VRF is mentioned over there, then what will happen? It will be VRF, then suffix with a particular VRF name and a space. These three things will come together in place of this particular one section called VRF. The same logic applies for the tag as well. So say for example, if there is a tag mentioned, see here one column with a tag as well. So we want to tag that number with particular route. Then what is required? We want tag one space, then whatever tag number is mentioned in the Excel and a space. So in that value will be replaced here with this variable. Same goes for the name. Like in case if we have name mentioned here, for now we have name for all this, but if it doesn't have anything, it will not print anything. It will be a blank. But if it has name, then it will be a name, then this double quote, then whatever name you mention in the Excel file, then double quote over and this blank space. So this is what name will be look like, and it will be placed in this curly bracket name variable. The same goes for the AD also, but AD doesn't have any prefix, so it is simply AD value and a space. Okay, so this is full route string, which actually is taking these variables and putting it in place. Below one is a prefix list. So if you see here, prefix list, you can do it in the tabs as well. Like you can create a particular tabs for the prefix list, just like we have done for the static routes. But what I have done, I instead of doing the specific tabs, what I have done, I have just mentioned it in the var tab itself, because these are small, so you can mention here as well. If you want, you can create a individual tab as well. So what here it is doing, like where.pl none. So where.pl none, this one. So this value will come over there, and we are filtering with the string to list. So this is a string. This particular one cell is a string, and I'm converting it to list. So when we convert it to list, whatever is mentioned in the mentioned it by the separated by the enters, it will be one individual item will come inside the list. For now, PL none has only one item, so it is okay. But for the RFC 1918, you see here we have three items. So what it will happen when this prefix list is executed, it will go each subnet one by one and create three lines for that. So this string to list is separating out. So for now, let's see, like when this for loop will be executed, it will have a index. Each of the time it will be referred as a loop.index. Okay, so we want to put sequence number based on that index, which is mentioned here. Like I will start with the 10. So and multiply it with the, so first index 10, second index will be multiplied by 10, it will be 20, and third will be 30. Like that, it will increase each iterate. And then whatever subnet it is coming from that while.var.plrfc, it will be replaced here with this 0 IP and slash its particular mask. So here right now, if it is a slash 8, even we can instead of doing that, we can simply put subnet as well, instead of just separating out. But I have done just done to explain here. It can be like, instead of putting all this, we can put subnet and like that on also. Just to explain, I just separate it out, IP part and mask part. Like we can do this way as well. In case if somebody comes and alters here, like 5, by mistake some wrong typing is there, then this thing will automatically corrected. Okay, so this two prefix list we are creating here. Then same thing goes for the syslog server, SNMP servers, and NTP servers. So that is also reading the servers from the var tab syslog server, var tab SNMP server, and var tab NTP servers. So if you see here, we have some syslog, SNMP, and NTP servers. We have three servers mentioned here. So those entries will come here and it will replace with the server IPs. Okay. So this is how this Jinja is created. So uh, uh, I will hold here. In the next section, we will generate the configuration from each of this template